Welcome. It is the Ski Bum Podcast, and it is your pals, Mario and Brian. Mario, what's up?
Not much. Getting excited for the ski season and a whole lot of things going on that we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, getting ready for the Snowbound Expo. We've been talking about it for months. We have a lot of great additional information. We are talking to the man, the source, the guy who's setting up the actual festival, Mr. Steve Morgan from Raccoon Media, in our main topic. So you're definitely going to want to check that out, get a little behind the scenes info, get a little bit of logistics, and get yourself fired up so you can go check out Snowbound. So main topic, wait for it. Thank you so much for listening. We do appreciate it. Check us out, skibumpodcast.com. We're on your favorite socials, X, Instagram, Facebook, Untapped, YouTube, at Ski Bum Podcast. Do you love us? We love you. Show us how much you love us. Show us how much you love us. Can I get an amen? Patreon.com/Ski Bum Podcast. You can become a patron. You can help us out, help this podcast grow, evolve, become something bigger, better, set up events. We're trying to do some.
We're kind of like a charity at this point, right?
Well, I want to be more of a community where we can get like-minded ski bums together, maybe do some trips, some meetups. I think that would really, just make people's ski lives better. That's what we're trying to do. We call ourselves the Weekly Audio Ski Trip. That's what we want to do. We want to do more personal, non just audio, full experience ski trips together with some like-minded folks. So check out Patreon. Patreon.com/Ski Bum Podcast if you want to help us out. We'd appreciate that. Send us an email, skibumpodcast@gmail.com. Like we mentioned, Snowbound Expo. They are returning November 3rd through 5th in its new location at the Boston Convention and Exhibition Center, BCEC, to those in the know. They will come back bigger and better than before. Lindsay Jacobellis, Sean White, Ted Ligety, Jeremy Jones,
bunch of
Dan
speakers.
Egan. Bunch of great people. They're going to have really cool events. I'm not even getting into too many details. We'll talking more about it in the main topic, but go to snowboundexpo.com if you want your tickets. Hurry up. About a month left to sign up. Get stoked up. Also, our friends at 10,000.cc, athlete-led design. It's time to get ready for ski season, folks. It's a month before Snowbound. You could be on the snow in November, maybe December. Remember, test, iterate, repeat. That's what they're all about. Iron sharpens iron. The only way to become your best is to work with the best. Their goal is simple. Create gear worthy of the world's top athletes. I'm wearing my interval shorts. This is not a 10,000 shirt. This is obviously a Spider shirt. They're not a sponsor, so I'm going to cover that up right now. Better than yesterday. That is the motto at 10,000. The idea of pursuit in business, fitness, life, and skiing. They believe moving forward with a quiet dedication to constant improvement and becoming just a bit better than we were yesterday. Go to the website, 10,000.cc. Use the code BSchneider15, BSCHNEIDER15, 15% off. I got joggers, I got shorts, I got shirts. What else did I get that was kind of crazy? They do rucking stuff. I don't have their ruck pack, but they work with Go Ruck, which I have their backpack, which is great for training.
Little rucksack.
I love their stuff.
Yeah.
Little rucksack action. Got to get ready, man. You're not going to ski yourself into ski shape. Stop telling yourself that. Time to get serious.
This is an illusion right there. Yeah.
Time to get serious. Speaking of getting serious, Mario, let's kick this off the way we always do.
It's time for Opry Today.
So the Opry Today is a little wonky because it's middle of the afternoon and I got to still work. So
this is unprecedented in unprecedented times. Like I don't think we've ever done a podcast at this time.
No, I'm doing a cranberry lime seltzer. That's about it. Little Polish seltzer.
Cranberry lime seltzer. Keeping it polar, keeping it real. Shout out to Worcester, Massachusetts. I believe that's their home.
Boom.
You drive
Although
past
I do like taking this seltzer and either adding weed to it or vodka. So it is good. Not that many. There's no calories, so you're just getting the calories from the alcohol or the weed.
It's a good starting ground. You're able to do a lot with it, depending on how crazy you want to get, right? I love the seltzers. Yeah, I'm in a similar boat there, my man. I got my awesome purple Yeti mug, and I have Ruta Maya coffee in here, which I pretty much just slow roll from, I don't know, 9 o'clock till probably 2 all day. Now
Yeah,
I'm
the
drinking it
solo.
today. I'm drinking it with old school whole milk. But
Oh,
here's my
look at
story
you.
with the milk. Whole milk, unhomogenized milk.
Mm,
What do you think about that?
no
So
homo.
no, no homo.
No homo
Gen-
milk.
genized, you mean? I bought this milk. I had to go to Whole Foods because I bought a bunch of stuff. I was telling Mario before I installed the subwoofer in my Bronco. I decided to
Boom.
buy a bunch of Dynamat, which is the stuff you put in to eliminate, noise and vibrations from the back of the car. The car's loud, can't help it. But I was like, I'm ripping the whole paneling out of the back. I might as well Dynamat it. Little did I know how OCD I would become about it because it took me about 3 hours to cut Dynamat. I had to cut and glue and use a little rubby thing on there to get it all down. I went super
Would you use the
obsessed with it.
contact cement?
No, I had
Contact
sticky
gets you
back.
high.
It had a
Shit'll get
sticky
you
back.
there.
I had
Oh,
sticky.
okay.
I had sticky back on it, so I had to cut it and then apply it. I did try to use a drill to put holes in it so I could put the bolts back into the ground. That didn't work out at all.
No?
I was trying
Damn.
to, well, think about it. If you have something that's maybe, I don't know, a 1/4 inch thick and you had to drill a hole through it, but it was not solid.
Yeah.
I was thinking, like, could I put a nail through it? I just ended up using
like a hole punch
an
or something.
X-Acto knife.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ended up using like an X-Acto knife.
X-Acto
Cutting
works.
little squares. Yeah, I was cutting squares out though.
Yeah.
But it was so
Works.
sticky. It was so sticky you couldn't. Like, it was really tough to cut the holes out. But did that. So anyway, I bought 2 boxes of that stuff. 2 boxes of it, and I think it was 25 square feet. For some reason, in my mind, I thought I was going to need more than 1 box. I used 1/3 of a box. So I had these 2.
I did
they
the
were
same
like
thing.
they
I
were
bought a
$70
whole thing, it
each.
was
The
like-
boxes.
Yeah, I got mine. They were cheaper. They weren't Dynamat. They were something similar. Same crap.
Yeah.
It's foam that with a sticky back. But I did the same
Yeah.
thing. I overbought, and I was like, wow, that really went a long way.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, I have so much left. I still have again 2/3 of a box left. So I went
Dude, I've been using it on random shit, like underneath this
on
desk
your wife.
for podcasting.
Shut up, woman! Shut up, woman!
Underneath this podcasting desk, I have it underneath there, so it stops the vibration of me hitting the tabletop.
Huh? Not a bad
Any
idea.
use for it? I'm wrapping shit in it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wrap the dog in it. Shut him up.
Quiet, dog. So yeah, so I bought 2 boxes of it, and I got it from Amazon. And thank God they bought Whole Foods because now you can go return stuff to Whole Foods, which was a genius
Oh,
idea
nice.
because you're already in Whole Foods. You're like, well, I'm gonna go buy some expensive crap while I'm here. So I
Yeah.
needed milk. We needed milk in the house. So I said I could buy the fancy. We usually get the Horizon grass-fed milk. And I saw the fancy one next to it, which was the same price, and it was from some local farm. And being the hippie that I am, I'm like, oh, y'all get the local farm one, unhomogenized, like legit
No
milk.
homo.
No homo. Bring it home. Give it to my son for breakfast. I'm like, Benjamin, we got some really special milk that we got yesterday. He's like, okay, give it to him. I go, Benjamin, how's the milk? He goes,
Gives it the
thumbs
down.
gave me a thumbs down on this fancy milk. I'm like, are you
He's like,
serious?
Dad, if I had 4 hands, if I had 2 extra hands, I'd give you 4 thumbs down.
Seriously, right? Wish I had more hands so I can give this milk 4 thumbs down.
4 thumbs down.
I drank this milk and I'm like, you know what? This milk tastes like a kid, like being a kid again, because it was real milk.
Was it grass fed?
I mean, probably. I think it had the name of the
grass
cow.
fed. It has different flavor to it because the grass, it's like a different. It has like a grassy flavor to it.
Just
I
like with the
tried it before. I'm
grass-fed
like,
beef, yeah.
yeah, I'm kind of like I like the grain fed. I don't know what it is.
I like
Eat
the
grain
corn.
instead
I
of
like
grass.
corn in my milk. Yeah.
Corn milk. I like that.
Yeah. So Benjamin was not feeling it. I said, you know what? And of course, because it is real milk, the expiration date is like Friday. Like, I got to use this stuff up. I'm not throwing it away. It was like
Gotta use it.
$6. So I was like, you
That's
know what?
the best in coffee though. That or cream. That's
delicious. Oh, I used to use heavy cream. Yeah, and this is.
You
I
get
mean,
like
delicious.
the other milk that's like the 2% or 1%. It looks like bluish, and it turns it bluish. It's weird.
Skim milk is the most disgusting thing in the world.
Yeah, I don't even know why you have it in the first place.
Why are you drinking skim milk? You look at the ingredients. It's like milk and like sugar and other crap and chemicals.
And a ton of water. Just put regular milk in
whole
your
milk
coffee.
and water.
Yeah.
You're better off.
Yeah.
Stop buying
Exactly.
skim milk. You're foolish. All right.
Just drink it like a man, all black and all.
That's true. Black and bitter. Like my women.
Black and bitter. That's right.
Yes. I got legit unhomogenized cow milk in my coffee. And frankly, it's delicious. Love it.
Nice. I'm pro cow.
Pro cow. So that was a very
Goat
exciting
milk.
upgrade today.
You milk
Thanks,
that
Frank.
little goat
Oh,
milk.
I can't do
Milk the little
anything.
tea right in your milk.
I can't do goat cheese. I can't do goat milk. All of it just, it's just something.
I like
Can't do
goat
it.
cheese. I don't know about goat milk.
I don't like lamb. I don't like lamb Rogan Josh. I don't like goat, lamb, anything. That's just
I
me.
love the smell of lamb cooking. I'm not a big fan of the taste. I don't know.
Can't do it.
I don't know what it is.
I try every once in a while. Doesn't work.
I did have lamb chops that were good. It was the seasoning. I seasoned the shit out of them. You put them in the little lollipops right on the grill. Not too bad.
Rather just get a nice.
But that's once in a while.
Rather do a big fat dumb cow steak.
What, buffalo steak?
Buffalo steak, yeah.
Bison.
Elk.
I'm getting hungry. Damn,
seriously.
man.
Well, maybe hungry. Are you hungry for some ski news? I know I am.
Let's go to ski news.
Now, this news is not the best news, but it's news you need to know. Winter construction on Colorado's I-70 will impact skiers. Here is what you need to know. So if you live in Denver or fly to Denver International Airport, you know the headache that is Colorado's I-70 during the ski season. After all, most of the state's ski areas are located off this main east-west artery that crosses the Rockies and features several mountain passes. The drive from Denver should take only an hour, and some changes to the closest resorts, including Loveland, A-Basin, Keystone, can easily take double or even triple during winter months.
You better pack a lunch and some roadies.
Obviously, Saturday, Sunday, holidays are even worse. And now there's even more complications. Interesting fact, though.
It turns that trip from a one roadie trip to about 3 roadie trip.
Yeah, right.
I hate to say
it. Last winter was the busiest ski season on record, with over 65 million people hitting the slopes, according to the National Ski Areas Association. Not surprisingly, almost half of those visits were in the Rocky Mountain region, 27.9 million. All that's to say there are a lot of people driving on the I-70 corridor. The interstate was featured heavily in the state's 10-year plan released in September 2022. The most expensive project on the list is the I-70 Floyd Hill project, which kicked off in June of this year. The I-70 Floyd Hill project, which will encompass an 8-mile section of I-70 between Evergreen and Idaho Springs, will impact I-70 drivers until the end of 2028. That is the next 6 ski seasons. The main goal of the project
is technology. We can't do that quicker. What the hell?
I know. Elon Musk, boring company. Gotta just drill underneath. The main goal of the project is to eliminate the 2-lane bottleneck by adding a 3rd westbound lane, which will be a full-time tolled express lane. If you're disappointed that the 3rd lane will be an express lane, you're not alone. Stacia Sellers, Colorado DOT Strategic Communications Lead for Major Projects and Operations, acknowledged that it's not an ideal nor particular popular solution, and that CDOT is limited in what it could do given the constraints of the geography and other factors. CDOT is at the point that we can't build our way out of the congestion, especially with Colorado's population projected to increase by over 600,000 residents by 2030.
That's a lot.
So this is a lot of people, and again, it's trying to reduce that bottleneck area, which obviously is a wonderful thing. They're saying that that toll lane, so it will feed into the existing Mountain Express lane that runs from the Veterans Memorial Tunnels in Idaho Springs to the US 40 Empire Interchange, which is the route to Winter Park over Berthoud Pass. The latter only operates on peak weekend and holiday travel days, but will provide weekend skiers with a combined 16 miles of express toll lane. It won't come cheap, though. Toll lane pricing for the new express lane has not been set, but the cost to take the current Mountain Express lane is $8 to $9 for cars with an express toll pass, and $14.67 and $16.25 for drivers without a pass each way.
Damn, it's gonna be like $30.
$30 to go on the expressway. Yeah. And I'm just wondering, what if there's an accident on the expressway? That's something I always think about when you're in HOV lanes, and you're kind of almost like a bullpen, like a corral. You're stuck. What if there's an accident? You're completely stuck. Yeah.
then you know what it is? It's still $30.
Still $30, yeah. Corridor travel studies shows that given the introduction of projects like this, drivers in all 3 lanes see travel time savings of anywhere between 20 and 50%. Well, on paper, that is wonderful.
Yeah. But we know
So here
people.
we go. we know people. So here's how the construction will impact skiers. The project is broken into 3 sections: east, central, and west. This winter and spring, work will be done on all 3 sections at once. To avoid making I-70's notorious traffic worse, Seller says crews will not be doing work on the weekends. Work will also not be performed on weekdays during peak period hours, times when we start to see heavier traffic. The project generally works within a 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. time frame, Sunday to Thursday. So here's a way to avoid construction altogether. Number 1, get a helicopter. Number 2, live at the resort. Number 3, go somewhere like Telluride. There you go. You're welcome. So if you're in the Denver area and want to avoid I-70 altogether, you can either ski Eldora, the only neighboring ski area that doesn't require a drive on I-70, or book a ticket on the Winter Park Express, an Amtrak train that runs between Union Station and Winter Park resorts on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays between January 13th and March 26th. As of writing, there are still $25 one-way fares available. That would be really fun. I would love to do that train for a weekend. Imagine going for a week, and you roll out there on a Sunday, come back on a Saturday. Like, that would be really fun.
Who really wants to drive? You want to ski, right?
God,
just take a train.
These days, I will do anything to avoid driving.
Just train it around. It's so much better.
Yeah. And of course, they take my advice here. You can also head south to Crested Butte to avoid 25 and 70 altogether. It's further away, over 200 miles from DIA versus just under 100 miles to Copper, but rarely sees serious traffic delays. The other option is to take the Snow Stang, a bus that transports skiers from downtown Denver to Copper, A-Basin, Loveland, Steamboat, and Breckenridge during the winter season. While you won't be able to avoid traffic, you can at least zone out or nap. And the Snow Stang,
party bus.
Yes. Or it could turn to speed. That's a problem too. Snow Stang will be able to use the new Floyd Hill Express lane when it is completed, but cannot use the existing Mountain Express lane due to size constrictions.
Oh, wow.
Constrictions, yeah. Rates are not yet set for the Snow Stang, but last year it was $25 round trip, which is pretty damn good.
Yeah.
So lots of interesting things to be going down now on I-70, but there's always, it's never easy, man. It's never easy, but at least you know.
The other option is go to Utah. And with our next story, a Utah ski area without lodging ranks among the best destination resorts in the U.S.
Get on that gondola.
Peak Rankings is an independent ski rating organization. It says they've been around since, was it 2019? And what they've decided to do is they came out with their rankings for the 23-24 season. So they've been reviewing ski resorts since 2019, and they listed Alta as the best place to ski in the United States, followed by Snowbird, number 3, and Snow Basin, number 6. So all 3 of those places do not have lodging right at the mountain, at the base of the mountain. I've done Snow Basin. It's pretty close to stuff, but you still got to drive about 15. If you go really close, you could probably between 5 and 10 minutes. We stayed about 15, 20 minutes away, which wasn't really a big deal.
You were in Ogden, or were you outside?
I was in Ogden, northern part of Ogden. Alta, we did not ski, but we did ski Snowbird, and there are places to stay there. I mean, there's lodging. It's not great, but there's stuff there. It's
right there at the bottom, and you avoid the traffic. You don't have to deal with any of that congestion or avalanches. You're just there.
Sam Weintraub, the founder of Peak Rankings and its ranker-in-chief, said he or a member of his staff has visited each of the ranked resorts. They determine the pecking order by looking at factors he believes matter to destination skiers such as snow quality and consistency, terrain quality and diversity, ease of navigation, and overall mountain vibe. So he took 2 issues with Alta. its lack of affordable lodging. So there's lodging, and its ban on snowboarders. Snowboard also got dinged for having limited on-site lodging and for limited beginner terrain. But as we know, it was pretty dope because there wasn't much beginner terrain. It's just all good.
Well, that was Snowbird. They did that whole ad campaign a couple of years ago where they took all the 1-star reviews and they they made an ad campaign. I like, yeah, there's not enough blue and green terrain here. You know, and that was like, yeah, that's why this place is amazing because the terrain is absolutely sick.
And that's why you got to read into the reviews and see what's there.
So
ultimately, it's just
Southern California is like, it was too hard for me to ski here.
It wasn't sunny every day. Oh well. Ultimately, it's just the elevation for Alta that faces entirely north, and then just the fact that they have such insane consistency in snow quality. Weintraub said, those things alone, I would say, justify Alta and Snowbird being near the top. But what sets Alta and Snowbird apart from Brighton and Solitude, which also see really incredible snow and terrain, they're just really large and they have a lot of different terrain. So they have advanced skiing, expert skiing, world-class steeps. And they go on to say Alta Snowbird ranked 2nd and 4th respectively. Whistler Blackcomb in Canada and BC was one of the most well-rounded experiences anywhere. And Jackson Hole filled the gap between Little Cottonwood Canyon resorts. Snow Basin is on the top 10 on both lists. It came to number 8 in North America, despite not offering nearby lodging for out-of-town skiers and boarders. They said because it's less crowded than many other resorts of its size, and it does everything well. And I can attest to that. It was awesome experience, great terrain, and not crowded, I gotta say. So don't tell anybody about it, but I love going there.
This list is really cool the way they break everything down.
And explain why they made it or they didn't make it, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, and they have, if you go to the Peak Rankings website, they have both the reviews for each one of them, and then they also have the raw stats. So it's a spreadsheet, and you can sort by snow, resiliency, size, terrain diversity, challenge, lifts, crowd flow, facilities, navigation, mountain aesthetic, and total, which is neat. So there's a lot of different stuff.
So here, Banff was on number 5, Vail was number 6, Snowmass 7, Snow Basin 8, Beaver Creek 9, and Telluride 10. So that rounded out the top 10.
I want to see what exactly does resiliency mean?
I don't know. Is it consistency like every year versus weather?
That could be it. Hunter came in 81st overall.
Look at that.
I just scrolled to the bottom. I love the cons. Horrendous crowding issues on weekends and holidays.
Yeah, that's a lot of resorts in the Northeast.
Yep.
Just saying that is the Northeast, period.
That is. Yeah. Bolton Valley.
What else?
Yeah, they're all down. I'm looking at the bottom here. Mad River Glen came in 76th. Oh, people are going to complain about that. People are going to complain about only a 49 score. Whew.
They don't even have New Jersey or Pennsylvania on the Finder app. It's only New York.
Wait a minute. You're putting Mount Snow above Mad River Glen?
Ooh. It's a pretty bold. Well, it's the amenities. That's what they're floating in there, right?
Wow. You are saying they're putting like all these places, Okemo and Mount Snow, above Mad River Glen.
Damn.
And Stratton.
Well, number one on the East Coast was Killington. That was pretty good. Tremblant. Tremblant was all right.
Jay Peak's only 56.
Yeah, Jay Peak, I would imagine, is I would say Jay Peak's number 1 to me.
Well, Jay Peak came in, I guess, 4th on the East Coast because you had
on the East Coast.
Stowe, Tremblant, Killington as 3, 2, 1.
I still think it's better than that. It has better snow. Has a freaking 100%. Water park in the hotel and an ice rink. Like it's a fucking complex. The place is
cool list though. I mean, it's interesting the way they ranked stuff. And everyone has their own way of ranking things in terms of importance and what matters. But I think it's cool seeing something like this and seeing why resorts get what they get and why some things that are cons for some people can be pros for other people. You know, like ban on
Yeah.
snowboarders. If you're not a snowboarder and you're a skier, you're like, yep, it's in the wrong column.
It's good to have something like this as a conversation starter, and then you could argue about why you believe it's a different order.
That's almost what these things are, is really just, as a conversation starter. Or if you have like a grudge with some place, you make the criteria completely against that place and then just trash it. And at least people talk about it. People are like, oh, I got to check this stupid website out. What are they saying? Telluride made number 10. I like that. A Basin 12.
Yeah.
Great place. Yeah, this is cool though. Worth checking out. We'll put the link in the show notes then if you want to check it out. Perhaps you don't care about North America. Perhaps you are a Norwegian skier. But guess what? Stereo Skis, which is a Norwegian manufacturer, have announced U.S. debut and launch. Crossing the ocean, crossing the pond, as they say. Stereo Skis has just announced its official launch and debut to the U.S. skiing market. The company, founded in 2008, is a Norwegian-based ski manufacturer dedicated to creating the most high-performance and sustainable skis worldwide. Heralding Scandinavian handcraft techniques. I mean, they built amazing Viking ships in the 800s, which I have seen in person, and they are insane and crazy and beautiful. They have spent the last 10 years building skis that combine the highest quality materials and manufacturing techniques to deliver the best ski performance and long-lasting products. 2023 marks the first step in its multi-year growth strategy with the highly anticipated debut to U.S. customers. The skis will debut in 18 doors across the West, Midwest, and New England. We are thrilled to launch our updated website as well as welcome our 15 dealers to the Stereo family. Stereo Skis has a rich history and an important sustainability story to share with the ski community here in the U.S. We're looking forward to building more partnerships and building the excitement for these high-performance skis. They announced its touring model, the Wolf MX5, was recently named Backcountry Magazine's Gear Guide Editor's Choice, a prestigious award signaling to the industry that this brand and its products are one to watch as they gain a U.S. foothold. Over the next 3 to 5 years, Stereo Skis looks to build its U.S. market share, expanding its door count and growing its list of valued retail partners. And they're going to mark the debut of a strategic brand partnership and an ambassador program aimed at propelling Stereo Skis into the mainstream conversation. I think perhaps we should be part of that ambassador program. I think we could ambassador the shit out of some stuff. Believe it.
You know what I'd love if they had skis that looked like Viking boats and you could ski.
Right?
Viking boat skis.
That's what I'm talking about. That would be really cool.
In trend.
Why can't we do this?
Be great for pond skimming.
Guys? Pond skimming? Yeah. Like some sort of like a Thor themed ski.
Oh, have like a hammer that goes with it. You can ski with the hammer.
Ooh.
That knows where your skis are at all times.
How about poles that look like Thor's hammers?
Oh, a hammer and an axe. One hammer, one axe.
Yeah.
This way you know which one's right and left, right?
Stereo Skis, don't you want us part of your product and marketing team?
Even just part of the think tank. We got a lot of good ideas.
That's it. We are chief idea officer material.
We believe they're good ideas, and that's all that really matters.
But you know what? They're good to us. We can express them properly, and people can take them and run with them in whatever direction they want. We're like the tip of the spear.
Yeah. It's the understanding. You got to understand where a head's at, and then you'll be like, wow, that is a really good idea. See where you're going with it.
The best, I tell you, the best. Well, you know what? Perhaps some folks were all ready to break out their Stereo Skis this week.
Boom. Where at, Brian?
How about their one country over neighbor over in Finland?
Boom. So there is the first non-glacier Northern Hemisphere resorts will open in 7 days, which this was the 29th, so it's like 5 days now, right?
We're recording this in the 2nd, so yes.
Yeah.
They're almost open. By the time this comes out, they will be open.
Oh, boom. So summer's over, fall's here, the days are getting shorter, the temperatures are finally dropping, and the leaves are turning. It actually didn't get above 80 today here in Florida, so I know it's definitely winter's coming, which is good.
It's like 74 here.
Yeah. At least the temperature broke. In Finland, Levi, the nation's largest ski area, and Ruka, another one of the largest, plan to both open October 6, 2023. the first non-glacier resort to the Northern Hemisphere to do so. That's 1 week away. So they're saying we're back on snow when the first ski lifts and slopes open on the 6th of October. And there's just a lot of weird stuff going out on the internet. They have big piles of snow. I think they're doing the snow farming. So Ruka does the snow farming. So they have this big tarp over snow from last year that I guess they'll start spreading around as a base. And I think they do the same thing at Levi. We talked about this story a while ago about the snow farming idea, and embracing it. It's they take a sneak peek into winter with the help of preserved snow. So Levi's ski area cross-country ski season starts with preserved snow already on the 6th of October. At the same time, the opening of skiing cross-country skiing starts the entire range of amazingly early winter events. Levi Glacier Slope and Early Season Park open on the front slopes. Next to Levi Golf Cart opens free cross-country ski track with preserved snow. It's interesting to see how it's helping out.
It's almost like sourdough bread. Like the starter. You kind of take a little bit of the starter from the sourdough and you make some new bread. It's kind of like what the snow is. Like it's sourdough snow.
What's amazing is it's not one big pile. They have a photo on there from Ruka, September 4th, 2023, and they have 1, 2, 3, 4, about 6 different areas with tarps over them and piled up snow. And I'm like, that's really cool. That'll actually probably complete 2 runs there and start at the bottom of a third. For that being snow that was left over, that's pretty amazing if you think about it.
It's really impressive, yeah, what they're doing and just finding ways. I love that people are just trying to find ways to keep the snow, really, and to find ways to get the season kicked off a little bit sooner.
Yeah,
it's almost like a finely aged cheese, like finely aged snow.
Yeah, like your sourdough bread starter, right?
Like sourdough bread.
It's a starter.
Yeah.
They ate the mother. Well, they call it the mother or the starter? What do they call it?
The mother. Yeah, the mother. Isn't the mother kombucha?
Yeah, I think the mother is for vinegar.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. I know it's definitely the starter, but I don't know if it's also the mother. It might be able to be both.
Google it now. It's always Google has it all. They just call it starter.
Okay.
But now you've been making sourdough. So you do the starter and you just keep that going, right? But you got to make that original starter. Did you get yours from somewhere or did you start on your own?
I have not made sourdough. I've just purchased sourdough.
Okay.
Frequently purchased sourdough.
Because our somebody is all into sourdough right now. Like he'll just eat sourdough all day.
It's so freaking good.
He just found it. He's like 16. He's like, just ate it. He's like, hey, this is good. I'm just going to keep eating it.
Hey, if you got to eat bread, you could do a lot worse.
Yeah, it's not bad, right?
Well, we're talking a lot about Europe. We're talking about Norwegian skiing in Finland. Beautiful, perfect transition into our main topic. We mentioned it at the beginning of the show. We had a wonderful conversation with Steve Morgan. And Steve is the guy who is in charge of the Snowbound Expo, which is coming to Boston in November 3rd through 5th. It's going to be at the BCEC, the Boston Convention and Exposition Center. We got some really cool inside information from him, asking about how things went last year versus this year, what people can expect. And we think you're going to enjoy this conversation. So without further ado, here is Steve from Raccoon Media. And we have a very special guest this week. We've been talking about Snowbound for a couple months now. We're all getting excited about it. And we have the man who makes it happen today.
Yeah.
So
welcome.
I'm going to give a big welcome to Mr. Steve Morgan, MD of the Active Division at Raccoon Media Group. So Steve, welcome.
Hey, you guys. Thanks so much for having me. It's obviously an honor and pleasure to be here with you two today.
It's great seeing you again. We've been, like we mentioned earlier, we've been talking about Snowbound a lot. We had a great time last year. It was a fun, exciting event, especially after, 3 years of no show in Boston with, of course, we've talked about COVID,
Glad to
blah,
see
blah,
it
blah,
back.
lockdowns. It was just so exciting to be around like-minded snow people again. And it seems like everyone really enjoyed the event. The attendees, the Raccoon folks, everyone involved. So How are you feeling this year about Snowbound, about a month out versus a month out last year?
I'm not going to lie, I'm feeling a lot better this year than I was last year. I mean, last year, as you said, the previous event hadn't been running since its old kind of iterations as BWE,
Mhm.
and that had stopped in 2019. So we had a couple of years off, and plus with our partnership that happened with SIA, so Snow Sports Industries of America. We only really started working on the expo in about end of April last year. So
Okay.
that was a super short timeline for us to pick up an event, deliver it, but all the stuff that happens in between of securing media partners, sponsors, exhibitors, and as you kind of sort of briefly touched on, and the difference between what it was in its previous sort of form in BWE to what we delivered was quite huge. The proposition of the event itself, or the expo, sorry, was quite a change. So there was a lot of moving parts last year. And don't get me wrong, there's still a shed load of moving parts this year, but at least we know the way they move now.
Yeah.
You're not flying blind as much this year as you
No,
were last year.
no, I've
So
got my
for our
glasses this
listeners,
time, so yeah.
Yeah.
So for our listeners, can you explain just a little bit about the difference? Because there was a big shift in the way it used to be marketed and I guess arranged, and now we saw it last year, but I know this year's probably going to be even more, right?
No, definitely. I mean, look, in its previous sort of setups and just the way it was in its DNA was that it was very much orientated around a sale, and it was high
Retail, yeah.
focused on retail. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, we're still focused on retail, but the kind and there was nothing wrong with that before at all. But the way that Raccoon Media Group does events and expos is that we're very much content led and passion driven. So all of the markets that we operate in are people who are active, healthy, and super into what they do. So they have a real huge passion for that sport or pastime or hobby that they want to pursue. And as I said before, it was like the BWE event very much focused on sale. Come in, grab your gear, get a nice promo, go home. That's cool, perfect. We're a little bit more of come in, engage with the community, meet your friends. There's a lot more. There's a lot more kind of meet up and as I said, the content surrounding it. So there's a whole experience around being at the expo itself. And as you said, Brian, connecting with like-minded people, and
Yeah,
that was.
that's the perfect word, experience. Yeah, that's kind of the vibe that we felt because we were at the previous show, I think 2 or 3 years, I think at least 3 years, you know, 17, 18, 19. So we got to feel the vibe of that, and it was fun, but it seemed like those shows were a lot of the same thing every year. Like they had their kind of cookie cutter,
Yeah, the
exactly what they
booze, you
do.
had the trade show vibe, and it was
Yeah.
a little
Yeah,
weird.
which was fun, but if you did it like the first year was super exciting. The second year, it's like, oh, okay, this is the same thing. By the third year, you're kind of like, where are my buddies? Let's go hang out. So your
Yeah.
guys' show, it seems like you tailor things differently every year. You're kind of looking for different themes and focuses, and like you said, experiences for the attendees versus just like you said, pick up your gear and head out.
Yeah, that's totally it. I mean, every single year we make sure that the content schedule is different. We make sure that we've introduced new features. And in fact, actually, part of our internal mantra is that, and it's not a real word, but 20 to 30% newness every year.
Newness.
And that's
Cool.
I know,
That's
yeah.
smart.
Yeah.
That is nice.
And we do that just to make sure we're not staying still and we're not getting stagnant.
Yeah.
We're a very creative bunch, and we like to, and we listen as well. We listen to the industry. So a lot of ideas come from you guys saying, wouldn't it be cool if you did this, or wouldn't it be cool if you did that, and we do
Well,
listen
we
and we
had
plug
some
stuff in.
ridiculous ideas, just so you know. But I don't
Okay,
think you
Mario,
use most of them.
no ideas from you, but everyone else.
Put those on the
I
back
don't think
burner.
you want to listen to ours. Yeah.
Well, now one thing. So last year you guys were at the Heinz Convention Center,
Yeah.
which is, I mean, geographically an awesome spot because you're right in the center of Boston. You have all the restaurants and bars and shops right around you. Now this year we're moving to, is it called the Seaport Convention Center? No, or is it,
It's
what's
the
the new name?
BCEC, so the Boston Convention and Exhibition Center. But yes, it's in the Seaport District.
Right, because the old one was like the World Trade Convention Center, and that got knocked down to build condos because got to have more condos in Boston.
Gotta have
And
more
then,
condos.
and this
yeah.
kind of slid back a couple blocks, but is in that same neighborhood, which is great. Why the change in venues for this year?
A couple of reasons. So again, getting a bit boring and techie on it, we had at the previous event at the Heinz 82,000, well, there or thereabouts, 82,000 square foot gross. So that's the amount of footprint that we have for putting people in there, getting all the stuff that we do into one hall. Now moving to the BCEC, we've gone up to about 162,000 square foot
Wow.
gross.
Whoa.
So and don't get me wrong, that is not going to happen every year. We're not going to be able to double it every year. Otherwise, we'll be taking over the whole of Boston in, I don't know, about 3 to 5 years. But that's not possible. As much as my CEO and bosses might like to think that kind of growth is normal, it is not.
You're gonna send out Paul Revere. He's gonna be on his horse. The British are coming if you start taking over Boston.
Yeah, not again. No, but so yeah, no. Look, we moved there for scalability, definitely, and accessibility. It's got its car parks. It's much easier for people to kind of drive there. And look, there's pluses and minuses of every venue that you go to.
Yeah.
But for us, we needed to go somewhere bigger, and also it's been at the seaport before. The exhibitors they knew, or they know that place, and they were very keen and positive, not only for the change of venue, but also for the change of dates. So it's a bit earlier this
That
year.
is
as well.
nice, yeah. Because I know
I think it would be nice. Oh, go ahead.
No, we have like the big Thanksgiving holiday that comes right after. It would have been like the week after last year's show, and
Exactly.
there's a lot of traveling. There's a lot of people
Yeah.
who are already going places to do stuff. So I'm personally, I've talked to a bunch of people, and they love the earlier date too, because again, and it's last year too. There was actually snow falling at that time, so people might have been like, "I'm getting my first tracks of the season this year. I'm not going to
Exactly.
go down to Boston." So this a little bit earlier, let people get a little more fired up, get the
Mhm.
excitement going. So this is
I think it's
it's
good timing.
great.
It's better timing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, the venue last year, like it was such a big event, which people I don't think realize how big it was because it was spread in those two big sides, the two big rooms. So
Which was part of the
having a
problem
bigger, yeah,
of that venue, which I'm sure, Steve, you heard everybody say that. Because I know,
yeah.
Yeah.
we were hosting that inspiration stage in the big area, and everyone's like, "Hey, is Bodie Miller going to be here?" And there's like 6 people sitting there. It's like,
But even
no,
came by and we're like, no, dude, you're in the other stage.
yeah, no, go past the bathrooms underneath that hallway, and that's where the
Yeah.
main stage is. So
Yeah,
it does.
totally. We had so many people come up to go, "Oh my God, it continues back here." We're like, "Yep, though it does continue back there. There is more to see."
Yeah, so that's going
Yeah.
to be nice. So is this one more like wide open at the BCEZ?
Exactly. Think of just one huge box.
Awesome.
Okay.
See, that's gonna be a lot better. Yeah. Get more pump and hype and throughout the whole place.
Definitely.
Now, I noticed you have some more events, like more like activities for people to do. Like last year, you had the ski slope, you had curling. There's a few other things that were around. So, what are the new things that you added this year that people can look forward
Yeah.
to?
So I mean, the mega slope is back again this
Nice.
year, but this time we have it with a kind of rail setup. So that's going to be really cool for
Awesome.
people to have a little go on. Well, maybe first time hitting the rails, or even just watch a couple of other people hit the rails.
More
Maybe-
paramedics.
Yeah, more paramedics. I was about to say, yeah, hit the rails with their skis or snowboards and their body. But anyway, we've also gone bigger on the cross country and snowshoe experience because that was really
Nice.
popular. People loved that.
That
and
was the roller skis, right?
But yes, you're right. That was run by the Cross Country Ski Association, and yeah, so we've gone bigger on that one. Give more people more opportunity to get on that, have a go, and actually that, before I get sucked on too much of a tangent, that sums up quite a lot of what the expo is about as well. This whole sense of discovery. You might come there not ever having any experience of cross country at all, and you go away thinking, "Oh, actually, do you know what? That's something I want to find out a little bit more on, or have a little
That's
go
very
on."
cool.
So yeah, we've gone a bit bigger on that. There is a balance board feature this year as well. It's just a little bit of fun, transferable skills, get everyone having a go. The skate to ski experience, and
rollerblade?
again feature, yeah, exactly. That has gone well. last year they had a bit of space and they weren't really doing any kind of general public have a goes, but this year they are, so they'll be there doing that, which would be really
Our buddy
cool.
Miles.
Yeah, they did that a couple years back because he would just like skate around the conference. I mean,
He's
what a
always
way
on
to
his
like,
skates, that
what a
guy.
way to market. Just be on your product the whole time you're there. I mean, he's the only guy who can do it.
Yeah.
Really.
I know. But operationally, though, they're all having, tearing their hair out because, not really allowed to do that in the Isles. But I'm sure
Yeah.
they'll find a way around that. Elite Team Family Fun and Fitness. So Doug's bringing that along to the event this year as well. So that'd be a bit of fun for the kids to have a go on.
Nice.
Oh gosh, the Ski and Snowboard Hall of Fame. They'll be there with a kind of almost like
cool.
a gallery-esque type activation, so people be able to get a little bit more under the skin of what those guys do, and just another way of engaging with the industry.
Well, that's good. I don't think a lot of people get a chance to visit the Hall of Fame, so it's nice to bring it to people while they're there. It's a very smart idea.
I'm gonna ask a dumb question. Where is the Ski and Snowboard Hall of Fame?
Isn't that by Waterville? Isn't that?
I'm gonna say yes, but it sounds like something I should know and something I don't know. So I'll find out for you guys.
Because I was actually looking. I love doing like just going on maps and looking where like different ski resorts and places are. I found some sort of ski museum in like the upper Michigan, like Upper Peninsula, way up there. Here we go. U.S. Ski and Snowboard Hall of Fame is located in Ishpeming, Michigan.
Oh, Michigan.
Okay.
Maybe that's a different Hall of Fame.
Yeah, maybe that is a different one. Because I want to say it's
something
closer.
by Cannon.
That I don't think
that's
that's the New England. I think that was the New England.
The New England Hall of Fame. All right.
Yeah, I think
is there
this
anything
is it.
else? It's all New England.
Michigan. There you
go.
go.
Because there's a lot of big mountains in Michigan.
Ishpeming, Michigan.
Wow.
Yeah.
When you think about Michigan, you think about big mountain skiing, don't you?
My friend, don't forget Mount Bohemia. That place is supposed to be absolutely unreal. It's right on Lake Superior, Lake Michigan, Lake Superior. I'm failing my my Great Lakes test, but it's right in the water there. It's supposed to get insane snow. It's supposed to be one of the most epic hidden gems in the middle of America for skiing and snowboarding.
Cool.
Do you know what? You are 100% right. It is indeed in Michigan. So, yep.
Who would have thought?
Kudos.
Cool.
Free tickets for that man.
Boom. See, this is what we do. We provide information you didn't think you needed and didn't know. So that's the service we provide to the general ski and snowboard public.
Nice.
So let me ask, this year setting up the show, was it easier to get a lot of retailers? Was there a lot of people that want to be in the event? Because I think last year you had said it's tough starting back up, right? People don't know what to expect. They don't necessarily want to commit. This year, I'm sure you got a lot better commitments from maybe some of the bigger brands that you were trying to get.
Yeah, no, I think it was definitely that. I mean, as we kind of touched on before, there was a change of proposition. There was a change of organizer. So everyone's like, who are these guys with this kind of funky accent? They call themselves raccoons. I mean, what's that about?
They're not even in the country. I don't know where they're coming from.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's like, right, we don't really know what these guys are up to, but we're going to see. And they saw, and that's why we've managed to go from 82 to 162,000 square foot. Wow. So that's the kind of buy-in and now support that we have from the industry. So yeah, definitely loads more vendors. Some of the bigger names that have joined us for this year would be the likes of Rossi, Dynastar, Lang, MDV with their lineup. Salomon's going to be there. So it's in terms of vendors and brands, there's a real nice mix. And cool. Also, the mountains have really decided to jump on board this year, which, I mean, look, we all know there's been some trials and challenges for the industry over the last couple of years. There's a recovery period, and it feels like now, we're coming out. We're coming out of that recovery. Our bones were broken, and they've grown back stronger, and people are really coming back into it. So there's a real strong cohort of those mountains and destinations that have joined us for this year as well.
Yeah, and just even the speakers that you're getting. I mean, you guys just kept adding more and more. Sean White, Jeremy Jones, Lindsay Jacobellis, Ted Ligety. Like these are no joke. These are the real deal people that everybody who's into skiing and snowboarding is going to know about.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, yeah, look, I'm a boarder myself, and so when we were looking at the prospect, and actually we started the conversation with white space, which is obviously Sean's brand, last year. So it's been a year in the making where we've been
Oh,
hounding
wow.
we've been hounding
Wow.
these guys to come
Finally
along.
got 'em.
Yeah, exactly. And then when that was dropped, I was like, yes. So I
Slide
will
into
be.
Sean's DMs.
Yeah, 100%. He hasn't got
Hmm.
back to me yet, but I'm sure at one point he will.
Come on, Sean.
Come
But no,
on.
we're so stoked to have him along to the event.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're really happy with that. I mean, obviously there's a great lineup of speakers, and one of the key things or elements that we try and make sure we instill into Snowbound is our second strategic pillar. So we build the expo on 3 strategic pillars. They're our foundations and our lenses that we look through everything to make sure we're ticking, where we want the expo to go. And the second one orientates around participation and recruitment. So getting more people into snow sports. Okay. And that's the main reason why the expo exists, is the fact that we want to make sure our doors are open, and regardless of male, female, white, black, it doesn't matter. Whatever your background is, if you want to step into snow sports, come along to the expo and start that journey. So our speaker lineup, we try and make sure that we have as diverse and inclusive lineup as possible, so that it relates to as many people as possible. Because we want to get more people into the sport.
Just don't be
I
broke.
gotta say, yeah, that's right.
That's the only
I gotta
thing.
say,
Don't be broke.
I gotta say, last year I was surprised at the speaker list you had, and Brian and I, we had speakers on our stage, but then we walked around, we listened to other people, and to come to an expo and get that exposure without having to pay for a separate set of speaking engagements, it's kind of nice for somebody coming in. They get to see product, they get to try some stuff, and then they get to hear a lot of cool stuff in the industry. So even if you are not a novice, you've been skiing or boarding or cross country skiing for a while, there's a lot of relevant, good information you get out of it. So I think it's kind of under. I think people look at it. They don't look at the true value of it when they go to the show. They're looking like, hey, let's look at some cool stuff. And I think before they might have been like, hey, maybe we get some good deals. But I think there's a lot of good information that people get out of it.
Definitely, and that's part again of the DNA of all of our expos and events here at Raccoon, is that when you come through the door, everything you walk in and try and do and have a go is all free. So you just pay for your well, except for the food and drink. All right, we can't control that. That's venue. But
at
and
least you have
parking,
drinks there.
I should probably
Very
say that. Yeah, but at least we have drinks. Yeah, but once you get through those doors, if you want to have a go on the mega slope, if you want to go listen, if you want to go and try out cross country, rollerblading, skate to ski, all of that kind of stuff is free. So just come in and have a great day.
So now let me ask you something. Last year when we were there, I think you guys were surprised. The people who were working at Snowbound were actually a little surprised at how much New Englanders drink. And they were like, we didn't realize like you guys were going to clean us out. And I think it was pretty impressive.
It was pretty impressive. And over here, we run the snow shows, both London and Birmingham. So to be honest, I'm quite used to how much the culture consumes. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So, but I know some of the couple of the other team members were like, "Oh my god," they're like, "Clear this out," and the queues are like half an hour, 45 minutes. So don't worry, we've got multiple bars this time. All right, we're not getting caught out again. Multiple bars. We're reducing that wait time so everyone can get a beer when they want it, or alcohol free, because that'll be on. On for people as well. But yeah, we definitely took that bit of feedback to heart.
That's I was gonna actually bring that up, so I'm glad you guys were you guys are super on top of things, which is nice.
Yeah.
So I just want to go back to a comment you made before. So you said last year for 2022 you started planning in April. So that gave you what, like 7 months, six months to get it ready?
Yeah.
What's the usual timeline you have to set one of these up?
Minimum 12 months.
Whoa. Wow.
And the opportunity was just too much. You couldn't pass it over. So we were like, right, we have to jump on top of this. And when I first started, I don't know if this is going out on just podcast or video, but when I first started, my beard was jet black. Okay, so that 6 months leading up to the first expo, I now look like Gandalf. So this is that's what it does to you, but it was worth it.
You do look very wise.
Cool.
A lot of good knowledge coming out of you. So stick 12 months usually, and plus two, being not in the location physically or even close. That must have made things more complicated as well.
Yeah, definitely. There's loads of nuances when you go to a new territory that you've got to learn. I mean, thankfully, I'd organised the UK snow show for the last 3 years, so and I'm a boarder myself, so I got it a little bit. So, but then there's the kind of nuances between. I mean, even little things like we have like email campaigns over here, and we do a mass email, whereas over there they're called email blasts. So there's just little things and like the little bit, the spelling differences and making sure you got that tuned up. But I must say we work with a fantastic lady out there who's our colleague Christine, and she has actually previously worked on the BWE events for years. So, and
cool.
she's been in the
That
industry
helped.
for years. Yeah, that helped massively. I mean, she was and still is, she still works with us. She was great for us and great for the team to sort of learn and make sure that we were doing things right, sense checked by her. So we had an insider from the beginning. So I can't just, we can't just take all the credibility, but no, there are a few nuances, but you learn along the way, and everyone's pretty, if you make a mistake, you put your hands up and say, yeah, we made a mistake on that one, we got it wrong, but we're changing it. So yeah, it's been a good journey.
And people are
Cool.
pretty, pretty good about it. As long as you acknowledge that it's like you just said, oh, we screwed up, we're gonna do better next time. People are pretty cool about that. I think people just hate the arrogance of like, no, we know better. Like this is not what you want. I assure you. Just people acknowledging that people like matter. Like that's a big part of this too.
And you guys really did look for a lot of feedback last time, which is really important. Seeing that you took it to heart, it's a really good way to grow.
No, definitely. And if there's one thing we are quite humble. We don't think we know it all. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are times when you need to say no. This is the way that it should be done from an organizer's point of view. But you can overlay that to it doesn't matter if I'm working on snow, cycling, Boston Outdoor Expo, run show, or equine show. It doesn't matter because there's certain kind of rules and ways that you need to go. But when it comes to the nuances of venue, location, or industry, then yeah, you need that feedback. You need people who really know what they're doing.
It's like building a house. Like you guys know how to build the foundation, get the walls up. If you want to put different curtains or pillows, like yeah, we'll take out that feedback, right?
100%. My wife tells me all the time, yes.
So now you guys have the National Snow Show or Snow Week coming up. Is that starting next week or 2 weeks from today?
About 10 days, yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting your blood pressure up just mentioning that day, right?
Can you see the vein on the side of my head?
Your beard is getting grayer by the seconds. So you guys have the big Snow Week. So it's a couple shows, right? You have the show in Birmingham, 14th to 15th. I said that in the most American way. I apologize. Birmingham, better than Birmingham. That would have been even worse. And then you have the London show, 21st and 22nd.
Yep.
How did you guys end up coming with that format of having, two shows in two different locations within a week?
Well, in the UK, we've got in Birmingham, we've got the NEC, so the National Exhibition Centre, and that does really well at serving the kind of top half, basically London upwards. Obviously, we get some London and South visitors up to there, but it's not as strong as if you were to hold a show in London and just having all of the kind of London visitors visit that. So we've got kind of two hearts going on here, one at the top, one at the bottom. And what we find is that people from the bottom don't necessarily like going out to the top, and people from the top don't necessarily like coming down to the bottom. So we wanted to do these two shows to truly talk to the whole of the nation and make sure that everyone's got that opportunity to come to an event where caters for their passion, so snow sports. And then we wrapped all that up into National Snow Week, and the pure focus and goal of that is to further galvanize the industry across the whole of the UK and make as much noise as possible. If you set up a national anything like National Coffee Day, National, I don't know, Black Cat Day, National whatever, Plant Day, it doesn't matter. You start creating some noise around it and a bit of a buzz around it. So some idiot just thought, right, I know, let's do two large-scale consumer shows back to back, and let's wrap it all up in National Snow Week and make about 4 times the work for the same resource. But we live and we learn.
That sounds like an Elon Musk level psychopath.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely
Well, I
was.
guess the benefit too is if you miss one show, you could try to go to the other one, right? Like at the end of the week.
Exactly.
It's kind of nice.
Because my first thought was going to be, hey, like, would you guys ever do that here with like a Boston and a New York? But I guess it's a very different, not even vibe. It's just the geography. Because with Boston, I mean, you can ski 20 minutes outside of Boston. I guess where you guys, I mean, you have your plastic skiing, but you're not really. You have to kind of go somewhere to get the real proper snow experience. So it's almost completely different in terms of the demographics of the two areas, right?
100%. And you're right. We have dry slope here, so we have lots of dry slope centers. We also have a couple of indoor. They're not real snow, but on snow. So it's artificial snow, but it is it performs like snow. So we've got those kind of centers here. And if you want to make a bit of a journey, so from say London, you're looking at about 8-hour drive up to Scotland, where there are a couple of mountains that you can ski and snowboard on there. I mean, it's not. I mean, look, it's character building. Okay, when you go up to Scotland, it's it's a certain kind of experience, but it is still fun, and you can still get on the mountain, and you can still slide, and do your thing.
Wear a kilt and do the William Wallace thing as you go down the mountain.
Yeah. It's pretty much like that. Everyone's shouting freedom as they go down. Yeah, that's it. It is pretty much that. But yeah, no. So there are a few opportunities to do it here. But yeah, you're right. You have to travel. Like if you want to get some like big mountain experience, can't do that here.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, what is your favorite place to ride?
Well, you're going to be
unlimited checkbook. Unlimited checkbook.
Yeah. I'll make sure I put this in so that one of our exhibitors will listen to this and be like, okay, right, cool, we'll get them along to ours. No, so yeah, I wish. Where have I been? It's been a bit sparse for me over the last couple of years. I've got a 2.5-year-old son, so that's kind of grounded me.
Congratulations.
Both metaphorically and physically,
and financially,
and I knows that very well too.
Yeah. Tell me about it. So I've not been actually able to go on too many trips. The last one was Kutai, which was for a skiing snowboard test, and that was a lot of fun. But do you know what? I'm going to bring it back to the roots. I'm going to say I have had a lot of fun up in Scotland. All right, there's a certain experience that you get there, and yeah, it's not just about getting on the mountain. There's a lot of other kind of experience that you can get up there as well, which is really cool, and it's beautiful.
That's kind of one
I
of the
skied in over Gatlinburg, so everything is uphill from there.
The middle of Tennessee, yeah.
Middle of Tennessee.
That's something that we've been talking about a lot. And you mentioned having your 2.5-year-old son. I've got a 6-year-old son now and a 3-year-old daughter. So over the last couple of years, I've had my son on skis since he was 2. And
wow.
And Mario and I used to do a share house up in Vermont. We used to go to Killington like every week. So that was like the no kids, like party, fun, ski, drink, have a great time. Yeah. And I've had to kind of reevaluate my, my skiing and all the places that we would drive past, those little areas that, as a kid, that's where you'd go. It's, maybe 500, 600 feet of vertical, nothing crazy. But that's the places I've been taking my kids to. And to your point about Scotland, like we've been having a blast. It's not about, dropping couloirs and, going cat skiing. It's been about just the experience, like with the kids, like seeing the joy in their faces, the fun they're having, getting some snacks. And like, I've just had like a whole like revelation about like, what matters with being on the snow and just trying to be a kid again with them. And you don't need the giant mountains. Yeah, they're fun. They're great. We love doing those, but you can have so much fun on a tiny little hill.
Exactly.
With your kids.
Fall in love with them all over again, I think.
Fall in love with it, yeah.
Right.
Completely agree.
You remember when you were a kid, you pass it down to your kids, and you're like, "Hey, this is the experience, right?"
Nice. Do you remember? I was a late bloomer though to snow sports, so I only really got into it at about 20. Well, actually, probably just before the pandemic hit.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I literally
I didn't start skiing until I was 18. So same,
I mean, it's actually part of our podcast origin story. I didn't get into it till I skied 3 times in my life before I was 30. And then we went to Lake Tahoe. Mario had a timeshare we could use. We all went there and I just fell in love with everything that was skiing. So
that was
it was a life-changing event, really.
Yep.
So yeah,
No,
it's
totally.
but that's the thing. If you're at least in decent shape and you're excited about it, and that's the cool thing about what this snowbound's going to have. It's going to have opportunities for you to try
Mm,
stuff out. You don't have to go up to the mountains. You can, again, cross country, try out the roller skis, try the skate to ski, try the mega
Yeah.
slope. Try it out, and you may figure out that this may change your life for the better.
And even if you're planning a trip, like you said, there's more resorts that are going to be there. A lot of times
mm,
you hear about these resorts, you read about them in a magazine. If you're planning that one big trip of your lifetime that you're like, hey, we're going to go somewhere cool this year, it's nice to get as much information as you can because you don't want to be disappointed. So it's a great thing to talk to all those ski mountains and find out what there is there and try to get you kind of get really excited about taking a trip then too.
no, and do you know what, Mario? That's a really good point because yeah, you can do research online and you can look at sort of Instagram feeds, you can check out YouTube videos, and you can do all that, and you should do all that. But when you come to an expo, you have the opportunity to talk to someone who's on the ground there. You
Yeah.
get to talk to the experts face to face, and that is one of the things that you just can't get online, right? You can't get that. You
Yeah.
can't get someone sharing an experience, and you can tell if someone's into what they're talking about or they're not into. And when they can communicate that kind of passion, you see the fire light up in their eyes about when they went to the resort or when they were on the mountain and where they went and how they did it. You can't get that online. So I completely agree with what you said.
And
Well, like we
there,
were before
oh,
about connecting, right? You connect with
Mm,
them, they get to understand what you're looking for, and they could tell you advice based on kind of what you're looking for, right?
exactly.
and ski and snowboard people are some of the most passionate people.
Mm,
I mean, you're not temperate about this sport. You're either in or you're out. And if you're in,
yeah,
you are in.
yeah. And we don't hate you if you ride skis. That's cool. Like, that's fine.
Thank you, Gandalf.
Well, well, there are some ski areas now that, as a snowboarder, you shall not pass. Just saying.
Nice, good link.
Yeah,
You just got to sneak in with your split board, and then you could just rip it up.
Yeah,
I think you can't ride the lift if you like hike up there somehow and then go down.
Yeah, I
I
don't
think
think
you'll
they
be
can
okay.
stop you.
Yeah, there's three of them, right? There's Mad River Glen in Vermont. There's Deer Valley and Alta, both in Utah. Those are
Oh,
skier only.
nice.
Yeah.
The only ones.
So you got to get there. Just sneak in and just drop one in there.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
funny,
thinking
like
a PR event. Yeah.
it's funny you see a lot of Alta snowboarding team stickers around. People just being cheeky about it. It's pretty funny.
That's part of the culture, right? That whole kind of vibe that you get there, the kind of fun, little bit, jostling with
Quiet
each other,
authority.
skiers, snowboarders, like who's better, who's not, who cares? We're all having fun. Like,
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
the snowboarders gotta be a little bit rebellious, right? You got a little
Mm.
attitude.
yeah, that's why we got these beards and ponytails and all kinds of stuff going on.
Big pants. Yeah, you gotta do it.
What is cool now, like you said, you can have rails at the event now,
Mm.
right? Like years ago, no skier would have ever been on the rails. It would have been all boarders. Now you see both, and it's pretty
Oh, yeah.
amazing. Some of the stuff they
Totally.
do.
Yeah.
It's very
Well,
cool.
that's what's been so cool because, as skiers, we tend to have a bit of an arrogance sometimes about us, but skiers need to recognize if snowboarding didn't blow up in the late 80s and 90s, the ski industry would be a shell of what it is today. Like snowboarding saved the snow industry.
I like that. I like that line.
That's a fact.
That's got to be a
man.
hashtag somewhere. That
Dude,
has got to be a hashtag somewhere.
It's an absolute
Yeah.
fact. Look at the way snowboarding blew everything up in the 90s. I mean, it took it to the next
Mhm.
level, and it helped all these resorts that were kind of like dwindling down just be able to invest in new infrastructure because they have all these new people, new rental programs, new training programs, everything. It really did save
Terrain
the
parks.
industry.
Terrain
Terrain
parks,
parks, yeah.
Big Air didn't exist. Now they do Big Air for snowboard and for skis. It's kind of cool.
Mm.
See, we can get along. This is synergistic, It's like, yin and yang, ebony and ivory. Like we're working together here. We're making everything better.
Totally.
Each
Right.
group pushes each other. All right, Steve, we've had you on for a good bit right now. Where can people get more information about Snowbound or the National Snow Week?
Yeah, so right, you can head on to our website for Snowbound. So that's www.snowboundexpo.com. Make sure that you do subscribe to our newsletter because we've got loads of gear reviews, but also you'll get some sneaky free promotions going on. Who knows when you might get a free ticket drop. So definitely subscribe to that.
Maybe
And
even 6
then-
free beers.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Depends on
Golden
how.
ticket.
Yeah.
That's the golden
Yeah,
ticket
one
Willy
there.
Wonka.
Yeah.
And then, so that's for Snowbound, and for the National Snow Week over here in the UK, we've got www.nationalsnowweek.com.
Excellent.
Nice.
We'll
Do you have a beer or alcohol sponsor yet? Just wondering.
So we work with a beer company called Jubel Beer in the UK. So they do a
Oh,
load
I
of
know
kind of
them.
apres stuff. And then over at Snowbound, we've got Harpoon with Long Trail, who just signed up.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Fat Tire as well,
Fat Tire.
Belgian beer. So they're going to be coming back. And then there'll just be a range of other beers in the Icon Pass Alpine Bar.
Nice.
Very nice.
Okay.
Well, we are looking so forward to Snowbound. It was a
Cool.
great event last year. We're super
Yeah.
excited about this year. Steve Morgan, thank you so much for your time, and best of luck at the National Snow Week. I know it's going
Thank
to
you
be.
so
Yeah.
much, guys. Thank
Thank you
you.
for your
Have fun,
time.
much success. We'll see you soon.
Thank you so much, guys.
All right, thanks. Take care. We hope you guys enjoyed that. If you want more information, we'll have links in the show notes at skibumpodcast.com. Thank you so much for listening. We do appreciate it. Check us out, skibumpodcast.com. We're on the socials, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, well, X, not Twitter. I'm going to do that a couple more times before it gets sunk in my brain. Untapped, YouTube. You're at Ski Bump Podcast. Send us an email, skibumpodcast@gmail.com. If you want to support us, patreon.com/skibumpodcast. We really appreciate that. If you need tickets still to Snowbound, go to snowboundexpo.com. Hurry up and get them. If you want to get some gear to get training so you're ready for ski season, go to 10,000.cc. Use the code BSchneider15 for 15% off. Thank you so much for listening. We do appreciate it, and we'll talk to you next week.
Stay high, stay falutin'.
See ya.